What's up YouTube? My name's Quickie, welcome back to the channel. Right, he's nipped up. I'm playing. The keen-eyed amongst you will note, I'm not working on a battery tray. He's back here. I'm not doing him yet. Although, that said, I do have a plan. I went home and I did a load of CAD stuff and I know exactly what I'm doing. I've got a design all sorted, which is going to be quite cool actually. But I'm not doing it out of steel. We've got enough steel on this. I want to try and keep some weight down somewhere. So I've got a sheet of alley coming, which is 1 metre by ½ metre, 3mm thick, which is going to be plenty strong enough for what I'm doing. And if I want to put any strength into it, I can always dimple dye it or whatever as well. But he's coming because there's going to be a few little brackets and, you know, ancillary odds and sods and jobbies and stuff that I'll need to make for the final build. And yeah, I just want to make them all out of alley. That way I can have the same sort of finishes I've got on yokes and all that sort of stuff, and it'll just all tie in, it'll all look nice. You know, it's not going to rot or anything else. So that's what we're doing. So I know what I'm doing there. It's just we're not doing it yet. We've got to wait for that stuff to turn up. I've got some other stuff coming as well, which I will let you know about in, well, I don't know. I could go through it now. I might as well go through it now, eh? So the oil cooler's ordered, he's coming. I'm hoping it's going to be here today, but you know, we don't actually need it for the dyno run, that's for the final build, but he's on his way anyway. I've also got a new starter solenoid coming, because that one's junk, it's broke, it's all split and nasty and everything. So we've got another one of them on its way. I've also found there was a bolt kit, like a stainless bolt kit for all the covers and whatnot. So he's on his way as well. Again, we don't need that until the engine gets pulled, but it was there and I saw it and I thought, oh yeah, that'll be handy. So I've got that coming. I've also got some inline 30 amp fuses because we're going to need one for the M unit. What else have I got coming? I do have a new toy coming for the shop actually, which I dipped into the Patreon fund for again. But it's going to be handy. The bead roller. So it's only a little one, but I don't really need anything that big. So I've got a bead roller coming for the shop. Just that way I can put like a shape into a piece of metal and give the whole thing a little bit more strength, or I could roll edges for something that I'm making, or, you know, whatever. You know, I could have used it to put a jog in that, but I didn't have one then. So anyway, that's coming. I've also got something, oh yeah, clutch lever. So I was looking at I did have a look at the SRAD, because the SRAD is like a project that's coming up after this one. And he's got a clutch lever and stuff in there as well. And I did have a look at it, and it would do the do, but it does mean that I'll be having different levers, and I don't really want that. So this is all Triumph Daytona 955i, all the front endies, the brakes, the blah-de-blah-de-blah, everything. So I've just got a 955i clutch lever coming, which is also cable controlled. It's got all the adjusters and the lever and everything else, but it means it's going to look the same as this side, and I can have the same levers on it, and it's all good. So he's on his way. But for now, I'm just mucking about with this. And I think I've got it about right. All these cables, they're going to come up the top like that and squirrel out the way. So that's fine. Throttle cables will sit about like that, I would say. So he's fine. Brake lever misses the throttle assembly, which is lovely, and comes to the end of the bar. So I think he's in. I've just got to work out what's going to be happening with the brake hoses, because we're going to run 2 lines. We're not running a splitter because that looks cheesy as. I don't like it, I never have done. So I need to work out what's going to go on there. Ideally they would come down to the front and then split off either side, but I don't know. I need to get them on and have a look-see really. Right, okay. What else can we do then? I've just switched the coils around as well. This is the other job I wanted to do today. There was a few people who chipped in with reasons why it should go this way around and not the other way around like I had them. Essentially, I had this face facing the frame. A couple of people were saying if you need to change HT leads over, I swap this off, It's easier to do if it's this way around, which I do get, and it definitely would be. You would have to take the coils off in order to get in and do it. The thing is, if I was changing the HT leads, I'll probably have the coils off anyway. Just because then you do it all on a bench and it's all good and cushy. The other reason apparently for having it this way is to keep this as far away from the earth as you possibly can, just in case it fails, which I get. I do get that, which is probably, if I'm honest, is the main reason that I'm doing it this way. I don't think I've ever had one fail at this end though and arc out to a frame. You know, it's always been the plug end that has, you know, gone there. So you just end up like chopping a bit of cable off, you know, unwinding the cap, chopping a bit of cable off, remaking it, and away you go sort of thing. I've never had it happen at the other end. But anyway, this is the way the manual says it's done. So that is the way it is getting done. I'm going to shorten these up, but for now they will just have to do as they are. They're going to be messy. It is going to do my head in, but you know, it is what it is. A couple of people were going on about you could tidy this up no end by using stick coils, and yeah, you could do. I do get you, and I might end up doing that in the end anyway. These are a brand new set of coils. They were bought for this bike. So, you know, I'm tempted to use them just for that reason alone, if nothing else. But, you know, stick coils, I think, would tidy it up. I've never used them. Never used them. You know, unless they've come on the bike already sort of thing. I think I'm right in saying the blade had stick coils. I don't know, I could be wrong. I don't know. But again, it's not something I've ever had to go in and sort of cock about with. This is the way it was all designed originally, which, you know, don't really mean much because I've changed everything else on the bike, but it is what it is. So we'd be able to neaten that up quite easily, I think. I think we'd be all right. We'd be fine. Right, let's get him in there as well. And then we can move on and see what else we got to do. Oh, there's one. Where's the other banjo gone? I got new ones, and I used them, and they should be in here, and they ain't. Oh! Right, okay. Right, well for now, these will have to do. I've ordered some more. So I've got new banjos coming for both sides and for the back. And I've also got some Triumph Daytona, you know, caliper mounting bolts. These are just hex ones, but they'll do for now just to keep it where it needs to be. So that'll all be fine. Why aren't you going in? Why aren't you going in? You a different thread? Oh, you're a different thread. Right, okay. Right, you'll have to bear with me because I'm just mucking about with ideas here on brake lines. I've got some old lines, I've no idea what they're off of. They're way too short, the connectors on the end is all wrong, but at least it gives me something to mock up with. So the original Bandit had this splitter on it. I don't know if the Daytona did as well, but this is a Daytona front end. But essentially, we just need to get these hoses down to the calipers. Now, ordinarily, I prefer having two lines, so a double banjo up here, do away with this, and just go straight to the calipers. This splitter, I mean, it's not really going to go. I mean, I could shove something in there, but then you're going to have two lines coming off one side. So essentially, this line would connect to that side, and then you'd have two lines coming off here, one to each caliper, which I'm not a big fan of, and there isn't really any way of mounting this sensibly because the bottom yoke on the Bandit was all built to take this thing. I could remake something like that and shorten it up, but then it would be offset and it would just look a bit, So I want to do away with this. So I'm just using these lines for mock-ups. So what I'm thinking, I mean, this obviously isn't long enough, but if he was to go like that, we could tuck him up under the headlamp, so you're not really going to see much of it. There is a hole here and here on top of the yoke, so we can have a P-clip in there, and your brake line runs like this down to the caliper. It naturally bow out a bit, which is what I want, because we're not running a mud guard. Nothing's going to rub against it, so that's all good. I need to get some pictures of this from the front just so I can see. And then for the other side, again, we'd feed it back in here on this side, a P-clip there to hold it. So again, it's all nice and tucked in here, and I could bow this out, again with the right connector on the side, to come down to that caliper, which from the side looks all right. Have a little bit of a bow like that. So we'd have to have the front off to make sure, you know, this isn't going to limit traveller suspension or anything else. We'll get a nice bow into it so it matches either side. But that's what I'm thinking. Where's the other one? So from the front, I haven't got a double banjo that fits, so I can't. I've got one coming, I haven't got it yet. So from the front, it would be like that really. So you would see the two hoses coming down there. What does that look like? You can't really see it, can you? And then he would come out like that. And this one, wherever he is, would come out like that. And everything moves all together, so it's not like I'm going to have a worry there. Because it's P-clipped, it wouldn't be anywhere near steering stops or anything else. So I think that's how I'm going to do it. Because if I come behind it, like this, one, you're going to see all the hosing and, you know, I could turn that round and send it back a little bit, but you're still going to see hoses. We've still got to clip it in here somehow, and then we've still got to have a kink in it, and from the side it just looks nasty. Whereas if I send it inboard, it kind of just, it goes, basically. There is a bit of a wobble to it down here, but again, because it starts from the inside and comes out, that'll be all right, I think. I reckon. So, I think, well, I've got banjos coming, I've got new caliper bolts coming, banjos for down here as well. I'm gonna need to get a kit to make up some brake lines so I can get everything exactly the right length, but I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna do. I'm thinking these are just crappy old ones. I can't remember what these came off. I think these were given to me. They're even Wiimoto lit. But we'll make some brake lines up, and I think that is going to work. But it would be nice to have a, you know, at least front brakes working, just for, you know, carting the bike about and sticking it in and out the van, and, you know, just see that way you can hold it on the brakes rather than just hold it with, you know, muscle. I think that's how we're going to do it. Right. Thing is, if I just get all the fittings and stuff, yeah, I can just mock it up and see what it's going to go like. I'll probably end up changing my mind. But whilst we're looking at brakes, we might as well have a look at the back end, eh? What do I want off this? Caliper and torque arm, really, isn't it? All the rest of this has been replaced. got the rear caliper on and the torque arm and all that lot. That caliper needs totally stripping and stuff. The piston seized in it. So I need to strip all that down, but at the minute I'm just going for fitment and what I'm going to be doing with brake lines and whatnot. Ideally, I'll be whipping one of those lines off and sticking it on there and seeing quite how close we are, but time's chipping on. It's 1:45. I need to get off to my work. So I'll be back. Right, it is now Thursday and I'm back. We got some deliveries as well, look, a clutch perch. That is off a Triumph Daytona 955i. And I'm hoping this is going to send the cable where I need it to go. Right, let me get the other one off and I'll show you what I mean. Right then, there we go. It is a bit grubby. It does need a clean up and a paint and everything else, but we can get that looking like new. So this is the Bandit one. Where are you? Right, so this is the Bandit one. So if you look at, if the bar goes through here, the clip-on goes here there. The problem is that this cable right just sticks it straight up there, so it's all going to sort of come out in front of the headlamp and it's just going to look nasty as. All I wanted was something that keeps it a little bit tighter. So this one, the bar goes in here. You can see it's pretty much parallel, you know, the cable run to the clip-on. So that's going to keep everything nice and tucked in. So that's going to do the do. Don't need him anymore. And this is the actuating assembly. So I thought I had another cable. Did I get another clutch cable? I'm sure I did. Oh no, I didn't, that's it. I need to get a clutch cable. So, I mean, it all moves quite happily and stuff. It's just the cable's horrible. And I think it's binding up a little bit as well. Could we use that for dyno? I might just squirt some oil down this and give it all a bit of a clean, and we'll just run with that for dyno. Because I think that'll be all right. Right. It does need a new one though. It really does. Right, the clutch cable is back on, which is all good. Cable is a little bit long. We're going to run it as it is at the minute, just for the dyno. I am going to be making my own clip-ons, which is going to pull the handlebars up like by about an inch. I'm not sure if at that point it's going to sit a bit happier, but to me it kind of, the cable is a little bit long and it rides up the back of the headlamp bowl, you know, just a little bit too much. It might be that when I do the clip-ons and move them up a bit, it all sits lovely and happy and whatnot. So we're just going to run with it at the minute. I'm not going to get another cable until after I've made the clip-on, so that's going to be like final build type stuff. And then we'll just get one that, you know, if the stock Bandit cable fits and it all sits happy and everything else, I'll just get another one of them. If it's something that I need to chop down a bit or, you know, whatever, then we can do that as well. But, you know, we've got something for dyno, so I'm happy with that. I didn't film it as well, but I've made some little steel collars, spacers, whatever. You're never going to see it, they're tiny. 10mm, and that's just to replace that stack of washers. I don't like stacks of washers. I mean, you know, it does the do. You know, it serves a purpose for now, but they're not staying on it, so they need to leave. Right, what are you, a 10? Yes. Well, whilst I'm doing this, there was a bloke who chipped in a comment. Where is he? Hang on a sec. Where's he gone? I had it a minute ago. Oh, here we go, yeah. Carl Kirchhoff 7966. His comments on here is there for everybody to see. I'll get a picture and I'll show it up just so you can see. But he says on this, should have told people that it may go on a queue plate before you sold tickets to win it. I personally would not like it on a queue. Just my thoughts. Oh, okay, fair enough. I read it and I thought, I don't know, is he having a go? So I read it back again with a smile on my face and it didn't sound half as bad. So no, I don't think he is. But he does make a very, very valid point actually. This is all new to me. I've never had to put anything through an MSVA test. Are you just going to pop out? No, you're not, are you? Well, you might do. There we go. I've never had to put a bike through an MSVA test, but I have owned bikes on a queue plate before. And I'm discovering this sort of stuff as I'm going along, right? So it's not like I knew it all along and now I've just decided to tell you. That's not the way it is. That's not the way this channel works. You know, I'm as upfront and honest as I possibly can be on everything. But he does make a valid point. It got me thinking actually. It could go on a queue plate. We're not going to know until it goes through its inspection, right? And I didn't know that before. It was all news to me. But it is true, it could go onto a queue plate. Now I've had, like I say, bikes with a queue plate before, and I've not had any troubles with insurance or any of that malarkey. It's all been fine and peachy. But he says he wouldn't want it if it was on a queue plate. And I thought, okay, well, I'm looking at the name, and I don't think he's one of the people who's chipped in. His name, you know, that's not his real name. I'm sure it's just like a weird, you know, made up thing because somebody else has got his real name. But I don't think he's one of the people who's chipped into it. But if he has, right, then basically he should have the option, in my opinion, of pulling out of it. So what we're going to do is, if anybody has already chipped in, right, and your name has been coming up on the update videos and all that sort of stuff, then, and you don't want to win the bike, because yeah, you don't want to stand a chance of winning the bike because potentially it could go onto a queue plate, then drop me a message, give us your proper name and everything else that would have come up on the PayPal link thing, and I'll just give you your tenner back. That's fine. I'm not about, what am I doing? Just do it from this side. You know, I don't want anybody to feel, oh, you know, well, he said this thing and now it's changed. Now it could be on a queue plate and I feel like I've been ripped off. Because I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all. If you want your money back, if you want out of it, just let me know and I will happily give it back to you. That is not an issue. Like I say, I don't think this fella's chipped in. But if he has, and let's say he won it, and he doesn't want a bike on a queue plate, we'll just sell it. You'll get more than a tenner for it. Just sell the M unit. Second hand, you'll get, I don't know, 20 times your money back. You know, it's up to you. But I don't want anybody to feel pressured into this at all. You know, it is what it is. And there's not a lot I can do about it. But the only thing I can do is to be as honest with you as I possibly can do. If you feel that the situation has changed and you now want out of it, then, you know, that's fine, have out of it. I'll get it sorted, not a problem. Oh, whilst we're on it, there was another one as well. He popped in today, an hour ago. Again, I'll get it and shove it up just so you can see what's what. I mean, you know, just go and have a look at the comments. It's there anyway. I'm losing interest. Progress is very slow recently. I feel like you told me numerous times what you're going to do, but as of yet, you don't seem to have done much. Sorry, this is a negative comment, but the giveaway updates really don't progress the project. Well, okay, fair enough. One of the main reasons for doing those giveaway updates is just to confirm with people that, you know, I've recognised that they've chipped into the project, they are supporting the build, and they now stand a chance of winning the bike once it's all done. You know, that's the easiest way I can confirm it to people. So, and the bit about going on, you know, what the plans are, what I've got coming in, all that sort of stuff, that's just secondary to it. But the main thing is just confirming with people that their name's going in the hat. If you lose an interest, you know, I mean, there isn't much I could do about it. Go and watch something else. There is plenty of stuff out there. If you see giveaway update, don't watch it. You know, if you've not chipped in, if you really don't want to know what the plans are and stuff, just don't watch it. I'm not forcing anybody to watch. If it is of interest, then keep on watching. That's fine. The ones that aren't a giveaway update, like this one, is where work is getting done. So, I don't know, maybe you just watch them. You know, I don't know what to say apart from I'm sorry, but that's the way that I'm doing it. Just so I can tell people that support me. I don't know what else to say. It is dead handy that this is that bolt kit I was telling you about that I ordered, the stainless one. It's just as well it turned up because I couldn't find the bolts for the clutch cover. Should be in this lot. Right, what's next? Right, I need to turn those spaces up. Right. Spaces is on. I'll nipple that up later. So that's all good, that's all where it needs to be. It is now 12:30, so I'm going to have to chip off. However, we've had some more bits and pieces turn up. So in here I've got loads of stuff from Goodrich. So I've got hose ends and, you know, retaining clips and all that sort of stuff. In the picture it just said, oh, see, this could be a problem now. It didn't show the ends on, it just showed the hose in a packet. But this has got the ends on. And I think, because I've ordered two of the same length on the front, the 800, well, this one's going to be shorter than that one. Really, I wanted rebuildable ones so I could chop it out. Right, we're going to have a look at that the weekend. I might be getting some other stuff there. Either way, we're in a good place. So I'm hoping this weekend, if those hoses are okay, I'll use them. You know, like if I can shorten them up, but if they're crimped on, then, you know, they're crimped on. There's not a great deal I can do about it. We'll have to get some different ends and olives and all that sort of stuff. It is what it is. There's not a lot I could do. However, this weekend we'll have a look at the front brakes. I'm not bothered about the back brake for dyno run. We really don't need it. We're going to get the oil cooler on. Coils is all done. We'll get some pod filters on after we've hooked up all the throttle cables and stuff, and just make sure everything is moving as it should be. What I'm probably going to do, just because these carbs have been sitting there for a little while, so whilst I've got it down to this sort of nick, I think what I'm probably going to do is have them off. I'm going to stick some fuel in them and just make sure that, you know, stick it on prime or whatever, and just make sure that the float needles are all seating properly, because I really don't want it puking petrol down the balls and into the sun. That would be bad. I had that happen to one bike. So we'll do that, but basically I want to get all this lot built. So brakes, oil cooler, pod filters after we checked all the carbs and that lot. If the alley turns up, I might even make a start on doing that that battery thing as well. So there is lots going on. There is lots going on. However, I've said it before and I'll say it again. This isn't a full-time job, although it's sort of turning into one. It isn't a full-time job. I've got my own little business that I run out of here. Plus I've got a day job that I work from 3 till 11, and you know, all my spare time is spent working on the bike in here basically. So time is limited, but I'm getting as much done as I possibly can do. This is not going to be a 2-week makeover load of rubbish that you sometimes see on YouTube. Oh, you just made this thing, and you took him 20 minutes. It's not how it works. But anyway, he's getting there. I can see it all coming together. So I'm quite happy with the progress, but there you go. Can't please everybody. So that's what I'm going to leave it for this one, because I need to chip off to my other job. Well, thank you ever so much for watching. I do hope you're well and staying safe. We'll see you on the next one. Laters!